Well guys, welcome back to another Scrappin' Irish video, and first off, thanks a lot for all the support as usual. I really do appreciate everyone that gives up their time and to watch my videos and to come in and give a comment or give a like, share it out, whatever, and again the thumbs up, really do appreciate it. So this is the second video in the series of the different types of solutions I use for recovering gold. So first off, I'm going to have to do the obligatory safety warning, of course, and so let's get that out of the way first. Right guys, time for the safety warning as usual. I am going to be using highly corrosive acids, which are dangerous and should not be used by anyone that do not know what they're doing, or I don't advise anyone to do it. So I do these videos as demonstration purposes only, and I do not endorse or tell anyone to copy what I'm doing. I'm just showing what I do on my channel and how I do it. So I will be, again, because the acids are corrosive, I'll be protecting my hands with these gloves. Again, nitrile gloves, the acids I'm working with. At the moment, I'm safe to use nitrile gloves. There are certain acids you cannot use these gloves with. So they're okay for this. Again, either be in a fume hood, outside, and again, even under a fume hood in an enclosed area, I would have one of these on. Again, it gives face protection and it also gives the respiratory protection. So when I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing it outside in a well-ventilated area, as you will see. But again, I would advise anyone that is into doing these to make sure they get a good mask which will protect their face from acids. You don't want splashes of acid, or you don't want any acid in your eyes. So again, something like this full face mask is very advisable. And again, gloves at all times, and again, make sure that you're in a well-ventilated area or have a very good fume hood. So for doing this, if you're doing it, again, this is demonstration purposes only. I'm doing this video because I got a lot of people asking me what solutions and how did I make the solution and blah blah blah. So again, the easiest way is to explain the video. So that's the safety notice, guys. So let's get back to the video. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, we can talk about what I'll be doing today. So what I'll be doing today is I'm going to be making copper chloride, or copper₂ chloride. Again, a lot of people ask me about copper chloride. It's my go-to for getting gold foils off any of these sort of items, such as the RAM sticks, the TV, LED boards, LCD boards. This is off a mobile phone, I think, or something like that. That came out of, again, some other little gold flash stuff that I don't know where it came from. Ribbon wire. What else have we in there that I picked up? Some printer. Come out if you want to. Some little printer tags that will be on the printer cartridges. So that, again, that will remove the gold for that. Again, some just general purpose or general thing. So it's hold on a second now, it's a bit dark in here, guys. I'm going to just turn the lights on and give us a bit more light. Now that's a bit better, because it was bright when I started, but it got cloudy outside, and of course then it gets dark inside. So that's what I'm going to be processing today. But the main thing is to make the copper chloride. So what will I be using for the copper chloride? Well, some burnt copper, and I mean burnt copper, guys. That was just thrown into a flame that I had burning, a fire, and I just left it sitting in there, and it has burned the copper. So when you hear people saying burnt copper, they mean burnt copper. So that's what I used there. Some people will burn copper wire. Again, if you're burning copper wire, do not burn it with the insulation on it. Make sure it has all been removed. So that's just a little bit of copper wire, and if I was going to burn that, you can see I've taken, I've just dropped it. Well, you could see before I dropped it that I had taken off the insulation. So if I was going to throw that into a flame and burn it, then there would have been no fumes from it. So never, ever, ever, ever burn insulated copper wire, guys. It's a no-no in e-waste or in any scrapper or recycler. So bold boy if you're burning copper wire with insulation on, and even worse if you're videoing it and putting it up on YouTube to see you burning, people burn it. It's a definite no-no. Okay, so again, copper burned, correctly burned. Okay, then again we have what a lot of people will know as, in America, muriatic acid. In Ireland, UK, a lot of Europe will know it as hydrochloric acid. Again, this one is branded spirits of salt, and this is the 32% one. If you've seen in a previous video where I was making the AP, I used a 10% one, but for this I'm going to use the 32% one because this is a nice chunk of copper that I have to get into to create the copper chloride. Now, before we go any further, before people start shouting at me that I could have used the waste liquid from the AP, because technically that is now copper chloride because it has copper inside of the thing. It still has a small bit of hydrogen peroxide that may not be used up, but you could use that up by putting in the copper and or by putting in more stuff, so you got more copper into the solution, and any of the gold that may have dissolved would have been dropped out as a black powder. But this is for people who want to make or want to see me make it from scratch. So a lot of people will hear people saying, oh yeah, you just get hydrochloric acid, burn copper, blah blah blah, and you end up with copper chloride. But I'm going to show the process of how it's done. There's a lot of new people coming into e-waste and into gold recovery, and they're on forums and they're asking, is there videos out there to show you how to make copper chloride? And to be honest, I haven't really seen a video out there to how to make it from scratch. So this is how I make it from scratch. So all I'll be doing, we'll go outside in a minute, but all I'll be doing is I'll be getting this, I'll be putting my burnt copper into the centre of it, and I will be filling it about to there with acid. When I see that the acid has started to turn green, the copper colour, I can take out the copper because I've created copper chloride in. The copper is in the solution, and I can add these to it, and the copper will carry on taking out the rest of the copper that is underneath the gold and releasing the gold flakes into the solution, and we'll end up at the end, when we drain it out, we'll end up with something like that, because that was from the hydrogen peroxide one. So I didn't show that at the end of the hydrogen peroxide video because, again, it was just a video to show you how to get the solution going and that. So I let it carry on, and this is what I end up with in gold flakes out of it. So that's what we'll end up at the end with. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go outside. Oh, one more thing, I nearly forgot. To help speed up copper chloride and make it work quicker, or get into liquid quicker, if you add an air bubbler, it will help to get it going quicker. So I will be doing this with an air bubbler. Again, it's just going to be a run-of-the-mill aquarium bubbler that you can buy in any pet stores or any hardware stores. Sometimes have them. There might be a pet department in there or something like that. Again, this solution here, a lot of people ask me where I get my acids and stuff from. This is bought in just a general plumber's suppliers. So any hardware store that has a plumbing department, or if it's a specialist plumbing department, will have usually a hydrochloric acid or muriatic acid. So it's used for cleaning drains. It can be used for cleaning brickwork. Again, the hardware stores will have it. The last one I used, the 10% one, was one for cleaning brickwork. This one is one for cleaning drains, getting rid of lime scale, stuff like that out in drains, or blockages in drains. It's used on that. So again, you can buy it over the shelf as long as you're 18. It's usually an 18 only product. So again, anyone under the age of 18 shouldn't be doing this in the very first place. So it's age restricted, 18. Here in Ireland, so you have to be over 18 to buy it. And again, I had to order this especially in the 5 litre ones. You can buy usually 2 litre ones or 1 litre ones, and the problem with buying the 5 litre one was, for me, they wouldn't just sell me one because it was a special order. I had to order 10 of them. So I have 50 litres of hydrochloric acid at the moment. So that'll keep me going for a long time. So again, I have some footpaths that need cleaning as well and brickwork that needs doing, so it's going to get used on that. So let's go outside and let's get this going so that we can see this started. And again, as normal, I'll start it and we'll come back 28 or 48 hours later or whatever length of time later. And once I see the green going into the solution, so once the liquid turns to green, I know that I have copper in it. And again, I might only fill it actually less than I said, because once I get the solution going, I can take out the copper, I can add in more hydrochloric acid to bring it up to the level I want, so that I have plenty of acid in there for diluting and not diluting, but for it's available to eat up the remainder copper in there, and it will start to work on the boards and stuff that I have there. Sorry about that, guys, got distracted with something else I spotted in the corner I need to get to. But anyhow, we'll go outside and we'll get this going. So see you outside. Okay guys, so here we are outside, and what have I got? I have my solution, and what I have forgot is my gloves. Now, that's better. Gloves, very important, almost forgot. So here's our little bit of copper inside the jar, and here is the bubbler. So again, all I'm going to do is put that bubbler down in first before we put the solution and clean it off. So all we're doing is putting that down into the jar, making sure it goes to the bottom. You can see some gold there from a previous time I used it, so bold me for not cleaning that off. I'm missing a bit of gold. Okay, bubbler's in. All I'm going to do then is just add some of the hydrochloric acid. So again, all I'm doing, guys, is adding hydrochloric acid, muriatic acid, whatever way you want to call it. That's all that's been added. So there we go. We'll add a small bit more. You can see it's already kind of gone a tingy green, which is good, but I'm going to get it going better. Put the ear bubbler on. So all I've done now is I've turned the bubbler on. That will start to eat away at the copper, putting it into solution, and once it's in solution, then we can stop the process, take the copper out, and add our gold bearing material to it and let it work away. We will have created copper chloride then, but not until then. We haven't created it at the moment. It's just copper and hydrochloric acid, a lump of copper, hydrochloric acid, and a bubbler. So come back in a while and we'll see how we're getting on. Okay guys, so it's been about 5 hours, maybe a bit less, and this seems to have copper in it. I'm just going to turn off the pump so we can get a right look at it. So the air bubbler really helps make it quicker. Now again, you could do without the air bubbler, and as you can see, we have a nice green tinge in there. So I'm going to take out the copper and just put it in there. Okay, so I'm just going to push down these a bit further. And we're just going to add the material. So we've now created copper chloride. So we're going to let it work away, and you're going to see it in action, hopefully. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to add some more of the hydrochloric acid. So again, we're going to be adding some hydrochloric acid to this because we're going to because the copper is already in the solution, I want to make sure there's enough acid to eat away the other copper, because I don't want to make sure it's not saturated already with copper, which it shouldn't have been because it was still diluting anyhow, or digesting it down. But we're going to put it that much in there. Again, people will be saying, oh, that's too much for the amount of stuff you've in there. Again, this can be added to more hydrochloric acid and to a bigger container for bigger batches, and this copper chloride will regenerate again inside of that. So we have essentially now created our copper chloride, our copper₂ chloride, which is in here. So I'm going to switch back on the bubbler and let that work away. By putting the bubbler on, it increases the speed it does it at. So it by getting oxygen into the water or air through the system, it seems to work a lot quicker. So I'm going to let that work away for a few hours, and we'll check in on it later. So as you can see there, she's happily working away, and we have now got our copper chloride in the solution. That's what we have, a copper chloride solution, and that copper chloride solution will eat away the copper underneath that gold bearing material, and we'll end up with some, hopefully, flakes of gold floating around inside that solution in a few hours time, or maybe 24 hours we'll leave it or something like that, and we'll have that working away. So let's check back, guys, and see how we got on after, hopefully maybe 24, 48, I don't know, we'll see when we check back in. Okay guys, so it's been about 48 hours later, so let me turn off the bubbler first actually. That's better, so you can hear me now. So it's been 48 hours later, and we have the copper chloride is working away. So I'll just show you there. So we can stir it up and you will see the gold flakes floating around in there. So I'll just zoom in a bit. Oh, wrong way. Here we go. So you can see we have our gold floating around inside of the solution. So we have created our copper chloride solution, which is now eating away the copper underneath the gold flakes, and you can see them floating around in there. So once the copper has been ate away, it releases the gold, and then all you have to do is filter it out and collect it up and get it ready to do a refine on it later. So guys, there we go, we have used copper chloride to get our flakes of gold released from the boards, anything that has gold plating essentially. Now again, in future I'll show you copper chloride working on pins in future videos, but that's kind of it for this video. Again, this video is just to show you how I make my copper chloride. And again, the good thing about this now is once I've finished with this solution, I can use the solution to start a new batch of copper chloride. So all I do is take a bit of this copper chloride and then add it to fresh HCl or hydrochloric acid, and we will have another batch of copper chloride. And again, never pour your acids down the drains, guys, because it's very important. This contains metals which can be hazardous to drinking water or water in general, for where there might be animals or anything like that may get onto it. So in future videos I'll show you how to make it safe afterwards to get your metals back out of it, because you don't want to be throwing away valuable metals either, and then so that all you're left with is a liquid that can be disposed of. Again, some of the waste companies will take the liquids and dispose them for a charge if you have no way of, or just want to be, once you finish with it, you don't want to get any of the metals out, dispose of them in a proper way, guys. Don't just pour them down drains. So, as always, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you don't mind, and catch you on the next one.